Hi, it's Ed Robinson again, and I really want to share my monthly newsletter. I've used it for so many years, and it's worked great for me. It just keeps in touch with the people, and it keeps my name in front of them. And that's one thing I love about the company I'm with is we share things so much with each other. So this is one of my sharings that I like to give. Um, why do I like my own newsletter? Well, for a few reasons. The big one is last month I received 4 emails from 4 agents from 4 different companies with the same newsletter. Why? Because they use one of the CRMs that has their own in-house newsletter. Like, are your clients getting 4 emails from 4 different agents? So that's why I want my own newsletter. I want my own stories, the ones that I want to use. I prefer to use stories about real estate, house and home, 55 and plus, financial ones, and so forth. And I get them from a company called newscanada.com. And you might want to share that also. Now, if you're in the States watching this or any other country, I'm sure there's got to be free stories that are copyright free. That's what News Canada is. You're welcome to have a look at it and get the idea. Some of the stories may even be quite useful outside of Canada. So have a look at that and see if that's useful to you. If not, look in your own area and you'll probably find something. I like to create my own because it's what I'm going to publish and what I want to put in there. And it's written for me by the companies that are promoting their products and services. And these are all good products and services approved by the company that publishes. So the newsletter takes me 30 to 45 minutes a month. See, once you get it down pat, with a template, it's just lickety splitty, got it done in no time. Okay, it's very fast. Now, this video you're going to see here is 23 minutes long. And you might want to grab a cup of coffee, cup of tea, and sit back and relax and just designate it yourself half an hour to watch this. And it'll guide you step by step through the whole process using KVCore. Now, as you all know, I'm with eXp Realty, which I just never see anything like it. I'm so impressed by it. So KVCore comes with us. So that's the best thing. If you're with eXp watching this, use KVCore. This is all done with KVCore. If you're not with us and you're using another program, by all means, it's probably, MailChimp would probably work fine. Some of the other ones, All Clients is a really nice CRM. It would work well with them. But create your own newsletter. Don't use these boilerplate ones that come out from companies. Okay, so here comes the video. Watch it, and I sure hope you enjoy it. All the best now. Bye-bye. I'll show you the finished product, which you can design any way that you want with headers and footers and so forth. It's going to look like so. I put a smaller header in. That could actually go at the bottom if you want. I can click here, go to my web page, send an email, social media. Got a question, I can click the calendar and go into my calendar, and they can set an appointment with me. So let's just scroll up here and take a look at the actual newsletter. Here's some of the stories. All the stories are home and garden and seniors. I picked them up from News Canada, and I'm going to go into News Canada in a moment so that you can see how that works. Because they're all copyright-free stories, which is great. How to make your kitchen your favorite room, the do's and don'ts of home safety. Now you notice some of these pictures are this way and some of them are horizontal rather than vertical. How to prepare for fire, and then the horizontal pictures here. I prefer to do one or the other, but I do have templates for both if I have to do it. But as I said, I prefer to do mostly the horizontal because it just makes it easy. You get a header, the picture, and then the story below. And then some customization I put in at the bottom where they can go to different areas in the GTA, Greater Toronto Area. Click here and go into Toronto Real Estate Board Market Stats, the market charts, and go search listings and then our organizations. That's the finished product. So I want to create that product, and that's what I'm going to do here. So, and I'm going to do it in this program, which is KVCore. KVCore is comes with my company. It's with this eXp Realty, and we get KVCore included. For a lot of the brokers, they're using Agent Locator. I know both quite well, and KVCore is simply Agent Locator on steroids. I believe it is, anyways. So let's go ahead and let's get making this newsletter. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into News Canada. I have it right in my title bar here. So when I go to News Canada, it looks like the screen that you're seeing here. I can have a menu, search for things, articles, radio, and digital content. So I always go into articles, and when I click on that, up will come this, and I'll have some topics. I want to get October, and I can go back and get old stories if I want. I always like 55 plus because I do deal a lot with seniors, and I use house and home. And also there's family and community, lifestyle, money, all kinds of different things you might want. I'll pick those three: family and community, house and home, and 55 plus. It's already done the search for me, and here's those stories. Again, they're all copyright free, and they are advertising, but they're great information. So this one here is talking about painting and so forth. Benjamin Muir paints. So vivid colors have become quite normal now. So let's take a look at that story. I'll click on that. It'll bring it up here. And it's a designer talking about it and so forth. It's applicable everywhere. So it's like, got to be careful. Some of these are only applicable to your neighborhood or your province. Or if you're in the U.S., you probably have something down in the States that you can get free copyright information at. I don't know what they would be, but I'm sure they're there somewhere. You just Google and you'll probably find something. Anyway, these are the stories that I use. Alrighty, this looks like an interesting story. So I'm going to click here on the shopping cart, and I'll put that into my cart. So it's been added to my shopping cart. I want to use that story. I can now close this window and go back here. Designer advice for choosing the right white paint. 3 health habits, tips, boost immunity. Discuss your next option. Rent versus buying. Well, that could be an interesting story. Let's have a look at that. I pick 5 stories. When I'm doing this, I find that that's enough. I could do 20 if I wanted, but no, 5 is a good enough one for a monthly newsletter. Renting versus buying. Make sure it's not up by another real estate company. No, it's up by canada.ca/money. So let's add that to the cart. Okay, and I'm going to add a total of 5 stories like this. I'll go ahead and add them, but I'll play it very fast on the speed when you're watching, and there'll be no voice so that you can get the idea and see all 5 of them. Okay, so here we go. So now I've added 5 stories in total, and I want to be able to now download those stories. So I'm going to go into my shopping cart by clicking on the cart up there, and I'm going to put in my email, ed.robinson@exprealty.com. And I always call it the Realty Post. They want to name where these are being used, which is fine by me. I don't put in time at all. And I download them. I don't email them to myself. I simply download them to my computer, which I'm going to do right now, and then I'll save them on my iCloud. I use iCloud because I'm with Apple, and it's almost free. But I could use Dropbox, Google Drive, or whatever I want, or my own server if I had it. So I'll just tap here, and I'll download those stories. Download has started, and it's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into my iCloud, and I have a category, a folder here called Realty Post. These are my previous ones that I've got saved. I should be deleting them, I guess, but I haven't got around to it. I'm going to create a new folder. This is for October. I'm going to create one for November 2021, 11/01. So 2021, 11/01. So that's November the 1st, my newsletter. Okay, if I did, sometimes I do 2 in a month, and I'll put 02. So, and I want to download it to here, so I'm click save, and I've just downloaded it now. Down the bottom left here, you'll see it. Click OK, and then I want to go into my directory here, Realty Post, and 11/01. Now they come in as a zipped file, and I'm sure you know what that is. So I'm going to unzip it. I'll double click on that, and up it comes, and there's my stories. Now rather than having them in folders, I'm going to grab them and pull them over to make life simpler for me. Pull them over to this part here. You don't have to do this. Just I like to keep it clean and neat so I can work on them all at one time. So there comes number 4, and here comes number 5. Okay, so there's all my stories and my graphics, my pictures. So I want to get rid of those 2 folders that I just brought down. So I'm going to get rid of those now. There they go. And here's my pictures. Here's the first picture about electric cars. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all these pictures because they're quite large when they come in, because they're really for publishing also on magazines. So I'm going to tap and open those pictures. Okay, I'm doing this on an Apple computer, and I know you can do the same thing on Windows, just don't ask me how, okay? So there's all my pictures, and when I click on one, I'm going to see that they are quite large, and I want to reduce the size. So I'll go up to Tools, Adjust Size, and they're 8256 pixel wide. I only need 640 at the most. So I don't care about the height, because I've got some that I do have the tall ones on. I prefer not to. What I'll do is I'll shorten them maybe in this picture, in this video, to make it easier for you. So I'm going to select all. Control A on Windows, I would assume, Command A on Mac, and then I'm going to go to Resize, Adjust Size, and I want to get 640 wide. I don't care how high it is, but I want a 640 wide. That'll reduce them well enough in size, okay? I also want to go through them all and sometimes just brighten them up a bit, okay? Let's just go down here now. That's pretty good, but I might go in, adjust color, and maybe brighten it up a little bit here. Oh, that's a bit much. Take away shadows. I think that looks pretty good, like so. So you can go in and adjust the color and so forth here. This one's quite dark, and I'm going to open up the exposure on that one. I think I'll maybe adjust the contrast a little bit. And brightness, sharpness, I want it to be really sharp. So I have all my things down here. I can play around with all the pictures. Shadows, get rid of, no, it's too much. That's about right. Okay, so I'm happy with that graphic, okay? So that's what I would do with the pictures. So I've got them all. So I'm just going to simply select all again, and I'm going to save them. So it'll simply replace the ones that are there and save them all. Alrighty, now let's take a look at the here. We'll just close all this up. There they are. Now I'm going to now go into KVCore and bring these into KVCore as stories. So I'm going to give you a little demonstration on that. And let's go back. Where's my KVCore here now? I'll be up here. There's KVCore. And when it's done, by the way, with KVCore, you can go here and you can see how often they open it up, should they have opened it up. If it's not a blue color, then they did not open up the package. Excuse me. So you can then just check it and see what was that one and so forth, and all your things that were in it, your videos and so on are all in there. So you can view this one here. So anyways, that's how you look at and see you can track who's looking at it. Article, News Canada. Okay, we're finished with News Canada. I'll close that window. So we'll keep Windows at a minimum. Now I'm into KVCore. And these are some of the things that you can do here under marketing. Okay, I want to go into marketing, but I want to go into smart campaigns. So let's open that up, and I want to go into templates. And in here are my templates. So I'm going to go here and do a search. A lot of these are put out by KVCore also. If you see clone only and not edit, then they're built into the system. And you get multiple different ones for automated emails and so forth. So let's look up Realty Post. Templates are all here. Plus, I keep the recent newsletters, but I can delete them at any time. So I have two main templates, small photos and large photos. I use the large photo one. I'll give you a quick look at the small one in case you want to do this one. It's a little trickier. And this, as I said, this particular way of doing it is pretty common in different pieces of software, like um, all clients and MailChimp and so forth. They use an awful lot of this. So in this, if you use small photos, you put a title in, you have to wrap the text. Well, you can't physically wrap the text in this. You have to put part of it there, and then create space. So it's a little tricky. It's not a, you can do it if you're pretty good at that sort of stuff. But if you want to make life simple, I suggest you make one up as a large photos, as a template. And once this preparation's all done, you just get through it so easy. So you put a title in, the graphic, and then the story. Title, graphic, story. So I do 5 of them that way. So I'm going to do that for you now. And I'll just do one, and then I'm going to do really fast forward through the other 4 so that you see the final product. But at least with the one, you see what that's like. So I'm going to use a large photo. I'm going to clone that one. And I'm going to rename it Edge Realty Post November 2021, because I already have done the other one. Realty Post 2021 11/01. And let's clone that template. And looks like it's coming through nicely here at the bottom. And I can start adding pictures and so forth as I want to onto it now. And there we go. Now, if you don't see it here, which we don't be shocked, okay? Please just go and refresh your screen. And then you may have to type in Realty Post again, or whatever name you use. I use Realty Post. Hit the magnifying glass, and you should see the 11/01, and there it is. Now, I'm going to edit it now. It's all ready. It's blank, ready to go. And I'm going to do one, and then I'll do the other 4 really quick. And on the top, I have my header. That could actually be at the foot if you want it as a footer. Click here to go to my web page, send an email. These are all buttons that you can create and drag over here. Alrighty. Questions, you can click here, and then I have a Calendly set up where they can actually set a time to have a book an appointment with me. So let's put the first story in, and that'll be the title going here and the graphic here. So I'm just going to move my screen over a little bit here, and I put a folder here, and here's all those stories that I showed you before, and there's the first graphic. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to scroll this up a little bit here, and I'm going to hold that picture and drag it over to here. Take a second, and there it goes. So there's my picture there, and then my story is here. I'm going to double click that, open up the story. Now, this is important. If you're using News Canada, and again, this is only in Canada, but I'm sure they have the same sort of thing in the States. I'm going to select the top part, which is the story. These are all things about what you must do and must not do. NC is at the first of every store for News Canada. That has to be there to use their stories legally. So I'm just going to grab all of that. I'm going to go Command-C on Mac, Control-C on Windows to copy that story. And I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go Command-A or Control-A on Windows to select all, and then I'm going to paste the story in. Now it'll come in pretty unformatted, to tell you the truth. So I want that to be the first line to be the I want that to be the title. So X, Control X or Command X on Mac. I'm going to go up here and I'm just going to paste it in. Now again, it put it in a small font. If that happens, just triple click. I like to put it at 16 font, and I'm going to center it. If you wanted to, you could change the color of it and so forth to a red or whatever. Sometimes it's nice to have a red text, but that's up to you. I'll just leave it the way that it is. And 16, pardon me, I think it should be bigger than that. If my memory serves me right, I'm going to put it up to maybe 20. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so I'm going to use 20 font on the header. So I'll go down here, and here's my story. So there's the NC is required. I find that this can be hard to read, especially when I'm dealing with so many seniors. So I'm going to hit Command A or Control A on Windows, and I'm going to make the font 14 size just to make it a little bit easier. And then it doesn't format properly with the text, so you have to go in and just hit it, put the cursor at the where there to break up the paragraphs. And you can format it more if you want to boldface some lines, but don't change the wording. That would break the rules. That would be against the law. And this particular one is interesting. This find out what products are approved for use in Ontario at eSafe. So this is specifically to the province of Ontario. That happens periodically, so you have to make sure that you look and see which one is used. All right. Now, so there's our first story. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go silent, and I'm going to go through and enter the other 4, but I'm going to do it at quite a high speed so that we don't waste a lot of your time. You've seen one done. You don't need to see the rest done in minute detail, but rather than stopping the video and merging another one, I just as soon go through it at a very high speed. Okay, so we're going to start that very high speed now, and then when it's completely done, I'll slow it down. We'll go back to the speed so that we can do the setup to send this out as a mass email to all our clients. Here we go. Fast action. The newsletter created with the last 4. You saw the first one done item in the newsletter. Let's have a look at the finished product. So here I am. This is my November newsletter, November 2021, which will probably change. This is only for the demo. And I want to go in and edit it and take a look at it because it is finished now. So here we go. There's a couple of things I'm still going to do before I mail it to everybody. And that is I'm just going to check it over carefully and make sure everything looks to be in order. So I scroll through sort of slowly, make sure I've got the fonts right, the paragraphs done and so forth. I decided I'd do all the headers in red so that I could add a little pizzazz to the header on them, renting versus buying. About color now, they're going to bold colors again for maximalism, as they call it. So everything looks good. What I want to do is I'm going to click on preview. I will also click on text, send tests. When I send the test, then I can have a look at it in my email to make sure everything looks proper. But I'm not going to bother and waste your time with it. I'll just have a preview here. So when I preview, it's pretty well the same. Well, I guess it is the same thing as sending the test. And this is what the client will see. I have the gray background with the white where the newsletter is, so it sort of pops out and looks exactly the same as what you saw. All right, so it looks good. I'm happy with everything. These links will all work on the bottom. They want to go look at different parts of the city with what the average prices are. Look at the stats here. I also have Calendly now. I like that a lot. So I'm thinking I might add Calendly to it so that they can add say they wanted to talk to me about something, they can actually set a time that I could set aside so I can spend some time with the client. So I'm going to add that to it also. I didn't do it here because I do have Calendly, but I haven't incorporated it into my template, but I'm going to do that next. Anyway, so let's assume that that's okay. We just tap up top, update the template. Everything's in order. So now I want to send it out to mass email. So I'm going to go into all lead engine tools. All marketing, I'm sorry. I go into all marketing, and if I look down here, I'm going to see schedule mass email. There's all kinds of other ways to create leads and so forth. Birthday, all my clients' birthdays are in there, so they get those birthday wishes. So let's do a mass email. Click on that, and up will come the part where I can do, these are all my mass emails that I've sent out. I got like 3 pages. There's 125 emails at the moment that I've sent out to clients. So as you saw, the last one I did was my October newsletter, and that was on September the 22nd. So now I'm going to do my November one. So I'm going to schedule an email here, and when I go over and I will click the contacts that I want to have, and I always send them to a hashtag newsletter, and it'll be newsletter email, not newsletter hard copy. I also send hard copy. I might do that on the next one, as a matter of fact, how I take those same stories and incorporate them into a hard copy for my seniors that don't have email. I can select the template here, and it will pop up with the last one that you did, but if that wasn't it, you can still do a search. So I tap on that, and that's the template that's going to come into the newsletter, into the email that's going out to all my clients, which we're all fairly familiar with now, rather than review it again. And they're going to send it out today. It's Sunday, and I'm going to send it out today. And I think I'll send it out at maybe after supper tonight or for tomorrow morning, whatever I want. No, I'll send it out about 4 o'clock today. Okay, and then I'm going to go down here, make sure I have a subject in, which as Realty Post, it put that in automatically from the template. And down at the bottom down here, I'm going to tap on schedule right there. I do have it set in the web page part of KVCore that I don't want my signature unless I specify it on mass emails. And really, I don't want it in there. And I'll tell you why. I'll just scroll down to the bottom because I've already got all that in the bottom and at the top. So everything is in there, okay? But if I wanted to, I could tap on that and bring my signature in. Up to you, whatever you want to do. Click on schedule, and away it goes. It's going to send them all to all those clients with a newsletter email as a hashtag. And if you use KVCore, you'll get to know hashtags. I hope you enjoyed this. It was a lot of fun putting it together, especially doing the speeded part. I did all that. It's all been done in iMovie. The video screen capturing was done in QuickTime, which is an Apple product, but it does work on Windows also. You can download a free copy of it for your Windows computer. And then I brought them into iMovie, all those videos into iMovie. There's a total of about 4 videos I did to put this together. So you could do this with the newsletter, do it with all kinds of things. This newsletter takes me every month 30 to 45 minutes to do. And it's well worth it because it is custom to the subjects and topics that I want my clients to see, which is all got to do with real estate stuff. Okay? Hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye, and we'll do another video as soon as I can. Bye for now.